TWiGames.com.
Welcome to this week's episode of TWiGames.com. We begin with the end of the cell processor and Microsoft's new patent. But first, the CEO of Square Enix said in an interview, in 10 years' time, a lot of what we call console games won't exist. In the past, the platform was hardware, but it has switched to a network. A time will come when the hardware isn't even needed anymore. Brian, is the fanboy war now going to be between Comcast and Verizon Fios on who has the faster broadband speed?
You Comcast people are ruining the video game industry. Verizon for life because there's no bandwidth caps. Yeah, I can kind of see this because a lot of the tech guys all think cloud computing is going to be the future.
Yeah.
No console, it all pulls from the server. And I can kind of see what he's saying here because if everyone's saying it, why not say it?
Well, I think that everyone who's saying it are clearly the developers out there. It makes sense for developers to want a console-less future. You know, companies want to release a game and have it play on the system that everybody owns, not only the system that 1/3 of the people own, right?
Well,
it makes sense.
Not only for developers, but for me. What if I had to buy a Paramount player and only played Paramount movies?
That's true.
And on a Warner Brothers player for Warner Brothers. As a consumer, I would like this because then it's based on how good the game is and not some exclusivity nonsense.
Right. So look, it makes sense to us, it makes sense to the developers, but let's be honest here. The next generation is not going to be console-less. No. These people are not going to convince Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft. You know, we have some huge, cocky, big companies here who want to run things, all right?
And this thing called money, right?
Yeah.
This to be had.
How are you going to convince these three crazy competitors to, you know what, let's work together and create one system? No. Next generation, Sony's going to have a system, Microsoft's going to have a system, Nintendo's going to have a system, and maybe EA's going to have a system.
Yeah.
Maybe Apple's going to have a system. I don't know. But it's not going to be consoles.
I can kind of see what he's saying, though, about networking, though, because it is big now. And I'm a little worried about Sony because they're a hardware company.
Yeah.
You know, they're not a software developer.
Yeah.
So either they got to switch gears a little bit or push some kind of new crazy high tech.
I think they will. But we're talking about the Square Enix CEO here. And this is just hilarious. We have a company who's stuck in the last generation trying to tell me about the next generation. Focus on the now first, buddy.
IBM Vice President of Deep Computing said that the cell processor will be the last of its kind and there won't be a successor. He did say in a vague comment that the future is hybrid. Rich, will this new hybrid chip sit in the water and babble incoherently about the future?
What?
Battlestar Galactica, the hybrids?
Moving along. The cell processor is the processor in the PS3. I mean, this thing is very powerful. Obviously, it's one of the reasons that the PS3 is hard to develop for, though. What does this mean for the PS3? Nothing. IBM said they're going to obviously keep making the cell processor for the PS3, so calm down, everyone. PS3 is okay. But, Bri, what does this mean for the PS4?
Well, it says a couple things. One, if it's going to be drastically different and they can't use the cell processor in new iteration, then backwards compatibility is probably not going to work.
Okay.
The only way it could work is if they put the guts of the PS3 in the PS4. Mm-hmm. But the cell processor is one of the reasons why the PS3 was so expensive, so I don't think that's fiscally smart of them.
Yeah.
So backwards compatibility is probably out for them. Here's something I kind of feel bad for. You know, Naughty Dog looks like they just mastered the cell processing in the PS3 technology.
Yeah.
They're going to have to learn something all new again.
Yeah.
But that new thing will probably be, you know, similar to what computers just use, so they'll probably be able to master it a lot faster.
Yeah, I think Sony's learned a lot from this generation. So I think whatever they use next generation, it's going to be a lot easier to develop for. So I think developers like Naughty Dog are going to be okay. A patent filed by Microsoft has been detailed online, revealing a sort of GameFAQs system to help players. You will be able to access a database in-game which will have user-created tips and guides. Brian, are we getting to the point where games will be able to play themselves?
No, but to be more specific, users can author video clips, audio, and maybe like a digital pencil to help you out. The reason I say no is because it's not playing it for you. It's not a super guide. Mm-hmm. It's like you're buying a Primus strategy guide, but it just happens to be in game.
Right.
The first thing I thought about, obviously, is going to help out, you know, achievement scores. But the second thing I thought about was this sounds very similar to what's in Demon's Souls. You know, there is danger ahead. Was that a good comment? Yes. I'll vote for yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, the way Demon's Souls had it was kind of a, you know, kind of a lesser version of, I think, what Microsoft's going for here. And I don't like this at all. I don't like it. I think strategy guides as it stands now are good. If you feel that you need a strategy guide, you buy it, right? I think a lot of people try not to use a strategy guide. But if it's right there, you press start, you know, and you click a video and it shows you how to do it, I think a lot of people are, even if they don't want to, are going to use it. If you can't
control themselves.
Think about it. If you can't solve a puzzle like in the first 2 tries, even though typically you would keep trying, if you have the option right there at your fingertips, you're going to use it. And you know what? A lot of people are going to lie about using it too. Which brings me to my next point. this cheapens achievements and trophies, period. Because nowadays you will not know, oh, he platinumed Demon Souls. Well, did he really? Or did he use, these video cheats and
I completely
guides?
disagree, because you can already do that. There's all these massive websites that tell you how to get these things. And most of the achievements and trophies actually mean something. Most of them are just time sinks. But I still can't get Smile in Geometry Wars because it's so hard. So I can't use a guide. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying
you can't
there.
pull it
I
off.
see what you're saying there, but the fact that a lot of this stuff is online, it actually takes that effort to get up, go to your computer, go online,
what an
and look
effort.
it up. No, I'm serious though. Like that separation there from just hitting start and watching a video right then and there, I think the ease of it is people are going to be using guides way more than they would have if this system wasn't there.
I just want to know how they're going to implement the user stuff, because maybe some players should be rewarded for their hard work.
That's true.
What if they show you how to get all the achievements? Maybe they should get something back.
Or what if there was an achievement or trophy that said, beat the game without using whatever this thing is going to be called? That would be a good thing right there.
According to Nintendo President of America, Reggie Fils-Aimé, 80% of the female gamers in the US are Nintendo console owners. And he said, quote, "This didn't happen by accident. It's the result of a deliberate attempt to expand the market." Rich, how does Nintendo pull girls so easily? Is it their suave demeanor or their irresistible smile?
I'll tell you what it's not, Brian, and that's Reggie's looks.
Oh,
Hey, you guys!
oh, that is a low blow.
No, I'm just kidding. Reggie's a big guy, so I better shut up. But yeah, this makes perfect sense. We Fit. I believe that has sold something like over 20 million copies worldwide, and I'm willing to bet that a lot of the people playing that game are female. So this makes a lot of sense. But what I will say is, Reggie, are you also deliberately trying to shrink the Rich Alamanos market? Because that's what's going on here. And it's not just me, okay? You go onto the video game forums, everyone is talking about how Nintendo has lost their ways. Yeah, they're gaining this audience, but they're losing the core audience.
Look, I hear that too. Nintendo's lost their ways and all this kind of stuff. But I commend them, because I think video games can be enjoyed by everyone.
Yeah.
And I think the market can expand tremendously. And I think it's good that they're going out for it. I mean, look at their library. They have the most diverse library on both of their systems. And at least they're trying. They're trying. PlayStation, Sony, and Microsoft aren't. They are still just making games for 8 to 14-year-old male fantasy.
Well, I mean, I think you're forgetting though about the PSN and Xbox Live Arcade games. I mean, these are games that are built and geared towards these other gamers. Like my girlfriend, for example, she absolutely loves Shatter, Pixel Junk Monsters, Geometry Wars. She loves these games, and she plays them. She owns a Wii and a PS3, and her brother has a 360. But you know what? She's playing the PS3 more than the Wii.
That is a good point.
Because-
However, both those companies don't advertise those games.
Okay.
They just advertise the killing, gun, crazy game.
Maybe they don't, but you know what? Let's back up, because I think Nintendo. Look, I agree. I want everyone to enjoy video games, but I think Nintendo's going about it the wrong way. They don't have a middle ground. Okay, it's for them. It's like they went all the way casual, like mini games, and it's just too much. There needs the PlayStation 2 had a middle ground. There were games for hardcore gamers, there were games for kids, games for parents, games for girls, games for everyone. Okay, and that's why the PlayStation 2 has sold more systems than the 360, PS3, and Wii combined at this point.
So what happened? Like, why did they both lose their ways?
I don't know. I think it's kind of what you said. Like, you got one group of people who maybe aren't trying hard enough. I don't know if I completely agree with that, but yeah, I can see that. Maybe they're not trying hard enough. Then you got Nintendo, who's trying too hard. So I think everyone, collectively, they're missing the middle ground that the PlayStation 2 had. And I think that next generation, someone needs to step up and get to that place.
Yeah.